Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 5th of June 2018. So yesterday the pound was sideways and then eventually it broke to the downside but found support at the 133.50. Also Friday's close, and then reversed and started to move higher, trading above the Friday's high and then back above the 20 bar average as well. And then prices after the losing trade moved higher, but then found resistance at the R1 close to the 134 level as well, and then eventually prices closed below the 20 bar average after trading sideways. This was then confirmed. We see the market trying to hold at the Friday high, and then eventually this breaks. It then breaks below the 133.50 and all the way down to the 133 level there before we get a bit of a bounce, and it's been sideways on the overnight. So here you see it coming also through the 50 bar average as well. So very strange day yesterday, and for the Dow as well, which we'll look at in just a moment. So the market moved higher, failed to hold on Friday's high, and then moved back to the 133 level. An important level here. The market needs to hold here, otherwise we're going to move lower once again. And let's just have a look at this in a bit more detail. From this low to this high, you want to watch out for the 132.50 level should the market turn around and move to the downside there. Also watch for the trend line being broken as well. Support at 133 at the moment. News today, what have we got? We've got services PMI for the UK, and then we've got another MPC member, Cunliffe, speaking at 11 AM. Then we're off to the US for the ISM manufacturing PMI, that's at 3 PM, and then President Wiedmann is going to speak at 6:30 PM. So not a lot to move the markets today either, and Tuesday generally is a quieter day. Meanwhile in the Dow, this yesterday shooting to the upside. If we have a look at the pre-market session, fairly quiet. The market holding above the R1 in the pre-market session. Once it traded above it, traded sideways, but as soon as the session opened, the market just blasted to the upside there for 15 minutes. You can see that it ran out of steam because as each successive 5-minute bar, buying bar, you can see that not only does the range narrow off, the volume falls off, and also this bar comes off the high, stuck at the 24,850 level, the blue line there. Market sits on the R2. You can see there how the market traded up to this. This then becomes a resistance for it, which you'll see here and here. You can see how the market managed to close above it here, but then close back below and the 20 bar average before coming back down to the 24,800 level before going back to the R2, trading sideways, and eventually broke below both the averages here, and the market remained lower until the end of the session, where there was some profit taking by the shorts and the market brought back there. And in the daily chart, you can see the market breaking out of the downtrend that we've had drawn in here. You can see that's been taken out, and I'm just going to mark up from this high down to this low, and this is where the next resistance is going to be at 24,882 should prices continue to move to the upside. Also notice that we're above the 20 bar average as well, so watch these two areas here should prices continue to move higher. Again, it's Tuesday, doesn't mean to say the market won't move higher. All you need is a bit of good news to move prices to the upside. One thing just to pick up on that I said in May, that generally the cliche is that you sell in May, go away, because the market generally moves lower. You can see that it did move lower, but not to any great extent. We're now in June, so we could see prices resume the up move that obviously the powers that be want it to move to the upside and keep everything looking fine. Italy's not sorted, everything's still bubbling in the background. Whether it actually creates a crash, who knows? Nobody knows whether it will or it won't. But there's certainly a lot going on in the background as far as the financial system is concerned. Longest period of growth, if you can call it growth, from 2008 to 10. Longest period in history. So we'll see. I mean, we are due for a certain contraction in the economy, and obviously debt, personal debt, everything else is sitting at those highs. Increase in global debt by 77 trillion since 2008 as well. But they can, as long as they can pay the service the debt, as it were, no different than an individual, then it's not seen as an issue. But it only take one event, as it did in 2008, to move or to upset the apple cart, as it were. So in Bitcoin, this too breaking out of that trend line that we drew in yesterday. $7,800 was the resistance area of Sunday. Monday the market lower. I said yesterday, watch this trend line here. And again, you can also draw in from the low to the high there, and this area here is also going to be important for this market. And a break below any of these two fibs will see the market test the support that we've got drawn in all the way across here as well. In the 30-minute yesterday, you can see how the market was sitting on the black 200 moving average line. Eventually, when it broke, the market continued, and then once back through the 20-bar average here, and also the psychological level of 7,500. That's what this red line is. The market then continued lower there on the overnight and sitting below the previous day's close, and also the low heading towards the S1 there. A different picture in the 60-minute. The market traded down to the 200 moving average, and this is quite a fascinating concept as well, which I will go into in more detail, how you can actually see why the market's doing certain things in certain time frames, and then when it breaks, how it moves down to the next level in the other time frames as well. It was fascinating to watch yesterday as the market broke this 200-day moving average in the 30-minute, and then eventually traded down to it in the 60-minute. Quite fascinating there. Right, that will do it for this one. If there's anything to report, I will let you know. Other than that, have a good day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.